Beijing is the capital city of China. It is a cultural and economic hub with ancient architecture, rich history, and beautiful surrounding nature. It's home to seven different UNESCO World Heritage Sites, along with delicious food, about 22 million people, and amazing public parks. And with all this, it also has a reputation for something else: traffic. In August 2010, the longest traffic jam in human history, National Highway 110, going into Beijing and lasting about 12 days. This event is emblematic of the traffic issue Beijing has faced for years. Stepping into a car in Beijing, there's always a possibility that you will end up in a traffic jam, though probably not quite like that. Now, the government has tried to solve this problem in a number of different ways. Beijing subway, the introduction of bike share services, and tolls and parking costs. However, I pose the question, with all these attempts at fixing Beijing's traffic issue, why is it still so serious? Why has it not gotten any better? Well, it's first important to understand Beijing's population growth and private car ownership. Population rose rapidly from 2000 to 2014 until it's plateaued at around 22 million people. Despite this, private car ownership has increased by 1 million in these years from 2014 to now. Now, the Beijing Metro is the first of many solutions that have been implemented. It's very effective, being one of the most rated and largest and most expansive in the world. Yet despite this, it still doesn't seem to relieve traffic congestion. Scholars argue that the pull of the subway alone will not convince private owners to switch to metro, as it's still relatively cheap for them to drive their cars. Bike share services, while privately owned, are another solution to traffic congestion that is extremely popular in Beijing. At a very low cost, bike shares allow for people to make the first or last mile of their trip without walking, making public transit more accessible, or even just taking the bike for the whole trip. This has been shown to reduce private car use as people are able to take public transportation instead of taxis or driving themselves. Now, another solution has been tolls and parking. These make driving more expensive, which is very important. Yet in Beijing, they have not been implemented to their fullest. This is to say that it's still relatively cheap for owners of private cars to operate their vehicles. Parking is a little more expensive closer to the city center, but nothing too crazy. Now, for all these solutions, the main issue is not that the infrastructure is weak or unused. It's just that driving a private vehicle is still pretty affordable for a lot of people. And with average disposable income continuing to rise, more and more people are going to be able to afford electric vehicles, which are cheap to run. Cheapest BYD model, like this one, is about 60,000 RMB, about 20,000 more than the average household's yearly disposable income in Beijing. So to truly incentivize people from moving away from the automobile, Beijing needs to make driving more expensive. Congestion pricing, increased tolls, and increased parking costs are necessary to alleviate traffic. Subway and bike share are two important pieces of infrastructure to have alongside this to allow for mobility. And it's entirely possible that raising costs might just not work. There's another population spike. People might just keep using their cars. The government might not want to make people have to pay more to avoid pushback. Thank you for listening.